Okay, so the call handling is just a powerful part of the Zultys system that allows you to be able to control how calls are routed and sent to you based on all kinds of different options. And so up here you can see I actually have a whole bunch of different call handling rules. We're just going to kind of play like those aren't around, and we're going to click up here and we're going to hit new, and we're going to type in a new rule. So up here, let's call this a transfer to cell type of a rule that we'll put in here. If you look down here, the first section, what you essentially want to do is go through the left-hand side and set your settings here. Then on the right-hand side, you'll see the options will pop up based on what we've done over on the left-hand side. So let's start down here. So do we want this when you're busy or using the phone, when you don't answer, or do you want this set for, like it comes up default, any incoming call? So we're going to go ahead and leave it on any incoming call, but we are going to click on this one that indicates presence. So again, this is one of the really neat things about your presence, is that you can go in here and you can create a rule. So I'm going to go over here and say, okay, when my presence is not available, I want calls to come in, and instead of forwarding to my voicemail, I want them to find me. So over here I selected my present status is not available. Now I can go under the Find Me, Follow Me section, click in here and type in, okay, well I want it to find me on this phone number, forward to this phone number here, and I can actually list up to 4 phone numbers and even simultaneously ring all 4 phone numbers all at the same time. So you can get really extensive with what you choose to do here, but essentially hopefully you can see the power that is going to come in when I'm not available. It's going to ring this group of phones that I've set for X amount of time, currently 20 seconds. If I answer, it will connect immediately, or I can have it ask me if I want it to connect based on the number that it tells me when I receive the phone call. So you go through and set up each of these different individual settings and so forth, and then create that rule. I'm going ahead and I'm just going to cancel on this rule because I already have a rule for that specific type of action. But let me just hop back in here real quickly and just show you a couple of the other things that you can see. So we did that last rule based on presence. There's another one where we can go in and say a call from. And I can add a list in here and say, okay, well these top 10 people or these specific people, when they call me, I want to be able to go ahead and add this number or any internal or any external or these types of numbers with these types of calls, add them to this list, and then only those specific people, for example, maybe I have them find me, but the rest go to voicemail or those types of things. So you can do it on an individual caller ID basis. You can do it based upon a date range and say only on these dates or even these specific times of the day. So normally during the day I don't want calls to forward to my cell phone, but I have a need that after hours I do want them. So I can set all of those types of things up. Days a week, holidays, all kinds of different functions and capabilities. So the rules are very simple and easy. Again, go down the left hand side and select the settings that you want. Once you've then chosen those, go in and specify each of the different settings based on those, and now your rules are complete. So very simple and easy to create these rules, but these rules are also extremely powerful and a great function within the system. You're going to love these. Okay, so let's go up here back into preferences again, and the next one after call handling is our call log. You'll notice that show the call log for X amount of days, and I have the option. The default is shorter, and I have changed mine to 30 days. Your administrator can make settings that will override these things, but you can definitely put on what you would like to try to see within your call log for length of storage here. The next one is on your calls, on incoming calls. You know, do you want to show the different session buttons and so forth there? you want on those calls to have it change your focus and those types of things. Again, these are just preferences, and you can choose these and kind of play around with the ones that you like to make sure that it's popping up when you receive a call if you choose and want it to, and so forth. On device access policy, these are typically just standard, and you shouldn't have to manage this too much. But essentially, this allows, if you allow your phone to be connected to by others, someone else could come sit down at your desk, pull up the MXIE software, log in with their user, and then it would allow them to bind to your phone as their extension and to be able to receive phone calls and so forth at your phone. Usually this isn't a problem, but if for some reason it is, then you can not allow other people to bind to your phone and so forth. So there's those settings that are there and available to you should you need them. One that I definitely typically do manage and modify a little bit here is that I go in and I have it automatically pop up the notification on instant messaging. I really like it to pop up that notification versus just flash down at the bottom of my screen. So I choose to have this indicated, and that may be one that you'll want to also select as well. Over here in the messages, you can definitely under messages, so enter, you can just hit enter on the keyboard and that will send it. Control enter begins a new line and so forth. Again, just a lot of custom settings here, very self-explanatory in how they work and function. The next one down here, messages, delete. When you're going to delete messages, you can go ahead and have it go into your deleted box, and then definitely ask you only play back the messages through your bound phone. A lot of people like this, so that rather than when they click on a message having it go to their speakers, if you don't have speakers or you're not in that type of environment, it's often a great idea to come in here to your messages and click on this icon, this checkbox here, which will only play your messages through your phone. So that's a great one to use there. Confirmations, do you want it to ask you before when you delete a message, do you want it to pop up and say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And then you can select which other options you want for confirmations. So kind of burn through those sections pretty quickly, but we're going to spend a little bit more time here in the notification section and show you how to set that up. A lot of people actually choose to have their messages, rather than show up down here indicating that you have a new voicemail message, and going into those messages from this MXIE application, they actually prefer to receive both their voicemail messages and their faxes just directly into their inbox. So let me go in and we'll show you how to set up and configure that. Under File and Preferences, the next section here is under Notification. Okay, so now that we are in this new rule, let's go ahead and give it a name. Let's call it our voice mail to email rule, just to make sure that it's very clear about what we're doing here. In this section here, there's a couple options you have, and this is likely the one that you will choose as what it comes up default, where each time you receive a message, it's going to send that notification to you. But if you would rather you get them in a group or a block of messages all at one time, you can choose the aggregated notification at a regular interval. So that is an option if you choose to do that as well. For most of you, you're definitely going to want to attach the message rather than have it just being sent to you a notification that you have a message. You actually want to receive it, so you'll want to click this box. And then in this section, what you want to do is you'll choose your message media. Again, going down the left-hand side, now we'll hop over here to the right-hand side to specify the different things that we're looking for. So by email, now you're going to put in your email, and as you can see here, you can actually put up to 4 emails to receive the notification when you receive this message. Robert at telesis.com. So I'll indicate, put in my email into here. When the message media is, I'm going to put, since this was voicemail, I'm going to indicate voice. Do we want to leave the message marked as unread? Not typically, nor do you typically want to just mark it as read and leave it on the system as well. but in general, most times if you're sending it over to your email, that's the only place you really want to get it. And so what you'll do is you'll click this option where you'll delete the message from your mailbox on the phone system, and it'll just kick it automatically over to your email. Okay, so that's setting up a voicemail to email rule. Next we will do fax to email. Okay, under fax to email, if we go up here, we'll just give it a name again, fax to email. Down here we will have it attach the fax when it is sent, and then we're going to choose our message media, and again we will type in the email address, multiples if you choose, and this time it's going to be fax, but we are going to choose to delete the messages off the system once we are complete again. So again, voicemail, setting up your voicemail to email and your fax to email. Now you can go down through and you can set up a whole bunch of other functions and features if they're older than, based on days and times of week and so forth. But again, they're all simply very easy to set up. Just check the boxes in what you choose here and then modify over here on the right hand side to complete it. So that is setting up voicemail and faxes to email. Okay, in this section under presents, the settings default that come in the system, I have these couple boxes checked, and let me explain what that's going to do and why you're likely to make some modifications here. So this is about automatic presence change. So in other words, if I'm sitting here and I don't do anything on my computer, 5 minutes from now, automatically it's going to change my status to be right back. Then another 10 minutes or another 5 minutes after that, or 10 minutes later of no activity, it's actually going to change you to not available. So when you've written rules based on your presence, all of a sudden you could be sitting at your desk and getting a phone call on your cell phone because you've set you're not available to go to your cell phone or something like that. So you'll have to choose if you want to continue to enable these, or you can disable one by simply checking these boxes, or you may want to choose to modify some times that are available in there as well. So definitely be aware of those automatic presence changes as they are default in the system when it first comes up. Now down below, also in presence, you can actually go in and you can indicate that only specific users and people can actually see your presence and view your presence. It comes default with all, and we definitely recommend leaving it that way unless there's some special circumstances that require you not to show your presence to other users within the system. And that will close out the presence section. Now under the toolbar, this is where you can go in, and there's actually a couple different options that you can choose here. If you'd rather have your icons look like this with the head and shoulders, or for those of you that are dancers or like dancers, you can definitely go in and you can modify that as well and change those. So the other thing that I will indicate in here, I'll go back to objects real quickly, is that when the system first comes up and you first load MXIE, it actually only has picture only. So if you're wondering, well, how did he get the picture and the text and have it give me the names of what all of these things are, I had actually gone into my settings beforehand and clicked on this picture and text, and that's why it will show up with all these different options that are available. So you'll want to be aware of those as well. Now in a few instances, there may be some applications where you actually don't want to show all of these different things available or make them available to all of the different users. And so you can actually say, well, I only want selected, I only want to see these specific icons because these are the only ones we really care about in our organization. And so you can hit selected and then choose the ones that you want to show, as well as your option of whether you want to show your presence note or not. So all of those things are just customized and available over here in this section of the present and the toolbar.